Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. This is a TAFA and chart analysis for February 28th, 2002, last day of February since it's not a leap year. So today all signals are pointing up, but there's a couple of things I want you guys to keep in mind that might bring it down all of a sudden, and things are still very volatile due to the situation at hand. But as you can see here on the chart, we had a giant coming up like basically today. This is the 1 month chart. This is actually like where we began, where we were before we slid down because of the Ukraine war. Now, we're basically at the same exact point we were before we started sliding down. So the upwards momentum is really insane. This can be caused by one of two things, or maybe both things put together. One, people basically sold off way too fast and then discovered like the Ukraine war wasn't going to affect crypto prices, so now are in a hurry to buy back up. Or two, Russia and Ukraine are basically having banking troubles right now. Both countries, Russia because of sanctions and Ukraine obviously because Russia is attacking them. And their citizens, and especially the Russian oligarchs, are actually buying Bitcoin, buying it back up. And so they're buying mass amount of it. Now, let's not forget that Russia did pass that Bitcoin bill that you can actually invest in Bitcoin about 2 days before the invasion. So they might have actually planned for that. It could honestly be a combination of both. People discovered they sold off too fast. And then essentially when the oligarchs started buying it up, they all jumped back in and we had this rocket up basically this weekend. And the thing is, like, we just announced sanctions as well. So definitely sanctioning SWIFT might have been the trigger button for Bitcoin to actually come back up. And that definitely could be because Russian exchanges are going insane with Bitcoin orders because SWIFT has now basically been canceled for many banks in Russia, probably the oligarchs and the citizens themselves. But that could be more of a short-term thing because eventually the citizens are going to run out of money. I don't think the average Russian has a huge amount of money, just like the average American probably doesn't have a huge amount of money. But the oligarchs could actually be buying throughout the war. Plus, there's a limit on Russian citizens of $600 a year. And if you pass a test, the limit goes up to $7,500 a year. But the oligarchs are unlimited in how much Bitcoin they buy. Obviously, the fat cats have distinct advantages when compared to the economic prowess of little mice. So therefore, we could actually see that buying going on for a while. But you have to be made aware that the geopolitical situation is extremely volatile, and there's many things that can go down. Not least of which is there's a 40-mile-long Russian convoy of tanks and trucks going to the Ukrainian capital. So my guess is in the next day or two, they're really going to ratchet up the assault on the capital. Belarus is also planning to join the war very soon, at least according to intelligence. And intelligence actually, like our intelligence actually has been pretty good so far. None of us actually believe that Putin would attack Russia. Intelligence has been saying to us that they're going to attack for like 3 weeks before, and they did actually attack, so we were wrong and the US intelligence was actually right. But this could definitely dampen spirits if they actually intensify the war. Now, that probably won't affect the fact that Russians under sanctions will continue to buy Bitcoin. But, this situation becomes a lot more unstable. And if the nuclear weapons or even the tactical nukes get busted out, that definitely can present a lot of big problems. So that's another big marker. Also, we don't really know what kind of damage basically sanctioning a big country from SWIFT will do to the economy overall of the world. So everything everything is kind of like up for grabs right now. If you actually look at the stock market, the NASDAQ actually did go up yesterday, but it is actually, the futures are slightly down. So Bitcoin follows the NASDAQ a lot more than the Dow and the S&P. So because essentially like the NASDAQ actually went up yesterday, Bitcoin actually went up as well. So those two are still very much correlated, but the futures are slightly down today. I really hope it can get above 50K, but I have my doubts with the geopolitical situation being extremely volatile. I'm hesitant to say that it's a short-term buy because we've seen it swing so wildly. And remember, $43,000 was the last plateau. It was actually the last plateau we were actually at. $44,000 was the last plateau we were actually at before we started dumping because of the war. So we might be kind of like finished in our gains, or basically like we might be halted in our gains just a little bit. Looking at the technical analysis, it swung into the buy favor. The oscillators are still neutral. The commodity channel index, not over 100 yet. Stochastic, not over 80. RSI, not over 70. We've actually gone all the way down to the 50 EMA. And even the 100 EMA, we are closing in on it. We need about $1,000 more for the 100 EMA to turn positive. However, the 50 EMA is still below the 200 EMA, so the golden cross has not actually happened yet. So I still think like it's too risky to really buy a lot or short a lot or sell a lot right now. We don't really know what's going to happen. The best strategy would actually be to hold, because like in times of war, like any little trigger could make it go up or down. But I do see like a steady steady buying pressure as people from Russia and Ukraine turn more and more into crypto. It won't solve like Russia's trade problems, but it would actually help a lot of the common citizens and a lot of the oligarchs to actually save money for themselves. On the weekly, we actually went into buy territory for the 10 EMA, but we're still a little bit off on the 20 EMA. So right now, like on the weekly, it is signaling a buy right now. But the thing is, like, because the situation is so volatile, I wouldn't recommend buying or selling. On the monthly, we are still on the sell signal. Basically, I only look at the 10 on the EMA and the SMA, and we're still not quite there. We're about 900 off from the 10 EMA. So long-term wise, we still haven't really pulled positive quite yet. But I am very, very surprised on how well the market has actually done. I guess we could have seen it because we should have seen like Russia and Ukraine actually turn to cryptocurrency. So the thing is, like, as long as this war goes on and there's like no devastating developments like the use of tactical nukes or like something collapsing, I do think crypto should do okay because of the buying pressure that the citizens of both countries actually generated. It's still, like I said, I did predict a slightly bullish sentiment going into last weekend, but at the same time, it was a lot more bullish than I thought. Right now, the price is pretty high. It could be setting up for a trap. We don't really know, but the thing is, like, the pressure from the Russian oligarchs and the citizenry could actually push it past 45. So it's kind of like it can easily go both ways. It's incredibly volatile. I do think like if it dumps to like upper 30,000s again, could be a buying opportunity to get some quick profits. But it could go up and not dump down as well. So that's my analysis for today. It's just kind of like right now I am very, very much neutral. I'm not buy or sell because of the geopolitical situation at hand. But, I was like very bearish on a sell. So that's definitely improvement on my sentiment for right now. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.